Hello and welcome to IRL F3 round 8, and today we're at Paul Ricard in France. I'm Sander Sorg and I will be your commentator today, not joined by Lee Kelly it looks like today, but that is fine, we will do it by ourselves then. As you can see, we're a couple of minutes into quali, and so far it is Michael Marlowe who's set the fastest lap in this race. However, there's still a lot of drivers yet to set laps. Excuse me. As we can see, Tyler Thomas has just finished his lap, and I don't think we have anybody else on a lap at the moment. No, we do not. Well, actually we do. Chris Ryan in his black Mercedes is on a lap as he is going through this challenging first sector. Track where it's really important to get your line right to carry as much speed as possible through those corners, as we see Chris Ryan taking a wide line there to carry as much speed as possible before he runs onto the long straight. Probably the main overtaking spot of the day right here into this chicane before you go out on another small straight that you can also probably see some overtakes today before you go into this flat out right-hander. Not the most challenging corner on the track unless you are battling, and actually Chris Ryan has invalidated his lap. So we're gonna go over to Ross Denholm. As we see Ross going into the pit, I'm sorry if I seem a little bit gone at the moment, but I'm just trying to make sure that we get everything done. And Storm has also invalidated his lap. What about Craig Woolley? He is on a lap, so we're gonna watch the Williams as he's going through this chicane. As we're watching Craig Woolley now out of the final corner and down towards the start-finish line. It's not going to be the quickest time here today. It's going to be 1:31.6, a little off Tyler Thomas in a sixth there. However, it should be said that this is a track where it's quite easy to invalidate your lap, and as you can see, we only have 8 drivers who's actually managed to get a lap in so far, as Storm has invalidated Jamie. Then he's coming into the final sector right about now, going through that flat out right-hander, then into this long swooping left-hander as he invalidates, turning in just a little bit too early, which is something I imagine we can see more people do today. Michael Marlowe, he's on his second lap with 9 minutes left of quali. Let's see what he can do then. Can he improve on his lap? As we see him coming out of the final corner. Oh, he's actually at the beginning of his lap. And now down the long straight, as we will see that he will top out at around 206 miles per hour before he invalidates in the chicane. An easy place to invalidate. What about Cameron Rowlands? As we can see that Jeremy Pope has just managed to get himself into the quali as well. Cameron 5/10 up on his lap time so far, before he now go into the swooping left-hander. One of my favorite corners on this track personally. Before he goes into this left-hander, that is a little bit tricky to judge how to take the line, but going a little deep on entry to get a better line for the exit is usually what I like to do, and it seems to work well. Now Cameron coming on to the start-finish straight to put up a lap time of a 1:29.2, which puts him in second. It's not a bad lap time there. As Tyler Thomas has invalidated again. What about Jamie is not on a lap. We're gonna jump over to Jessica Harrison and see how she's doing in that Red Bull through that swooping corner there. Into this more tricky corner, very tricky on the exit. You do not touch the inside curb there, as you can easily spin by doing that. Before we then go in to this final corner and towards the line. This lap will be a 1:29, 1:30.5, which puts her in 7th at the moment. What about Ross Denholm with only 6.5 minutes left of this quali? He's still sitting down in 14th without a lap time on the board. Now through this flat out right-hander and into the long swooping left-hander. Crucial to get as much speed through there as possible. Now into this one, you can see him going a little bit wider than you would expect on the entry, as he's now catching up to a Red Bull that is going straight into the pit, so doesn't really obstruct Ross much. And out of the final corner, what is Ross's lap gonna be? He needs a good lap here today with the championship leader in Ivan Kingsley not here. And look at that, Ross Denholm on to provisional pole, right in front of his teammate. Right in front is actually not completely correct. There is a bit of a gap between them. And with Ivan not here today, then it is up to his teammate Sylvain Vessier to try and carry the Ferraris through this difficult race weekend at France. As we can see him coming to the line, it's going to be a 1:28.6, and he splits the Alpha Tauris, which is completely crucial for him to do right now. He does not want them both in front of him. Let's see Jeremy Pope then, out on his first lap in his Haas. And let's see then, Jeremy's in the final sector. Looking very slow, to be honest, when he goes through there, but let's see then, as he was actually not on a lap, but he is now, so we'll stick with him then. As we can see him going through this first sector, this right-hander, especially crucial to take much more curb on the entry there. And now into this long accelerating right-hander, you can take much more, go much wider there. Then on to the straight, where let's see what Jeremy's gonna top out on. It's gonna be 2:07 for Jeremy. Oh, and he cuts the track. Tom Spicer then. Only 3.5 minutes left of quali now. We will start to see the drivers go out on their final lap. Let's see. Tom Spicer on to the long straight. What is he gonna top out on then? Is it gonna be 2:06 for Tom Spicer as well? So it's looking like that's where the drivers are gonna top out. At least most. As we can see that there is some traffic up ahead. That is probably some cars on their out laps. But Tom Spicer then through this flat out right-hander into this long swooping right-hander, taking a very tight line through there. Personally, I would have probably drifted out a little wider. Now into this left-hander, and now just one corner left, this tight, almost hairpin-like corner. Before he's gonna set his lap, and it's gonna be a 1:29.3, which is gonna put him in 6th place at the moment. Let's see, Craig Woolley is the only driver on the lap right now, so we're gonna follow him then. We can actually see that Michael Marlowe has just started the lap as well, while both Ross and Silva has just gone on to their out laps. Craig Woolley coming into the 3rd sector, 7/10 up on his lap. So it will be an improvement, and he should be passing Chris and Jess with this. Now let's see. Through the final sector for Craig Woolley. Will he be starting in P14, or will he be higher up? Out of the final corner, and it will be a 1:30, I believe. Let's see, a 1:30 point, and the 1:30 flat, and a big improvement and into the top 10 for Craig. Well, we're gonna jump over to Michael Marlowe then, fighting for that pole position. Not far behind Silva, a little further behind his teammate, but out of the final corner. Will it be an improvement? And up to the line, is it going to be a 1:28.5, and it is a 2/10 improvement, and he passes Silva. Now let's see then, Ross barely down on his time, I believe it said. And now this long swooping right-hander. Last sector for Ross in this race. We can see that Silva also barely made it to start his last lap. But will Ross manage to improve his lap, or will he be stuck on that 28.1 out of the final corner? And it's going to be a 1:28 flat, and it's a 10th improvement from Ross. And Silva has invalidated. What about Thomas MacGyver then? He's the final driver, I believe, on the lap, except for Luke and Jeremy. And actually looking at it, Thomas is the first one who's going to finish his lap. And through this final sector, you can see him trying to just throw that car into the corner. Now, ooh, a lock up in the final corner. And over the line, it's gonna be a 1:28.2, and that is 2nd place for Thomas MacGyver. Now what about Jeremy Pope, as Luke has retired. He's given up on quali. What about Jeremy? Out of the final corner. On with DRS. It's going to be a 131.1 and it is 15th for Jeremy. And with that, I don't think we have anyone else on the lap. We do not. So it is Ross Denholm on pole with a staggering lap time of 128 flat. As we can see, we have Ross Denholm on pole with a 128 flat, ahead of Thomas McIver in his Haas with a 128.2, only a tenth and a half off Ross. Then we have Ross's teammate Michael Marlowe with a 128.5. Before we have Silva Vessier carrying the Ferrari team today. Then we have Billy Mossam in 5th. Sir Enzo in 6th. Then Cameron in 7th. Tom Spicer in 8th. Jamie in 9th. And Grayson in 10th. Outside of the top 10 we have Craig Woolley, Jessica Harrison, Tyler Thomas, Chris Ryan, Jeremy Pope. Then I believe it was you, Joachim Storm, and I'm not sure who the last one was. We will see when we get on to the formation lap. Shame you couldn't be here today, Ivan. As the drivers are picking their strategy, we'll quickly go through the strategies for the drivers today. Then there is really not a lot to pick between. You can go soft to hards. However, it's not as easy as it might sound. It is a stretch, and we saw it especially in IRL F1 yesterday. That there's at the end there was 2 drivers getting punctures. There was multiple drivers in danger of getting punctures. So it is not a clear-cut strategy that wise. You can also go for a 2-stop, soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium, depending on what you feel more comfortable with. A third option, obviously, if you're outside of the top 10, is to go medium hards slash hards medium. And Luke Baker was it that was in 16th, and then Jeremy in 17th. Now let's see. Outside of the top 10, we have Craig Woolley starting on mediums. Jessica Harrison starting on mediums as well. Same with Tyler Thomas. Then we have Chris Ryan opting for a very aggressive starting strategy with starting on the soft tires. Before Storm, Luke and Jeremy are all starting on the medium tires. I bet you will, Ivan. As we can see, Ross taking the drivers through this formation lap. We can see that it's going quite slow at the moment, and Tom Spicer has managed to disqualify himself from the formation lap. Not exactly sure how he did that. You care to elaborate, Tom, how you've been disqualified on a formation lap by yourself? Because that beats me, to be honest. so you did have a collision with somebody. All right, well that's unlucky. No matter, good luck to you with those starting on those cold tires. You could need it. However, also getting a little less wear into your tires to start with, so could help in the long run. But nonetheless, we are on the grid, getting ready to go, as we have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go with the French Grand Prix. And into turn 1 we can see that Thomas McIver is having a decent start, but he can't just get past. Oh wait, he has gotten... Wait, has Ross lagged out? I think Ross... I'm very confused. The car in front is ghosting. There's actually 2 cars ghosting, both the Alpha Tauris, so very confused about what is happening exactly. But as we didn't try to actually go that far down. Oh, the timing glitch. As you can see that Silva has not the best start. Thomas McIver though not far behind Ross, and we can see that Ross and Michael are not ghosting anymore, so they are indeed here. They have not lagged out. So we can see that everyone is driving on a line behind each other now. Not much happening at the moment. The timing glitch seems to be a glitch between the top 2. It's definitely not a 10th between them. But look at this though. Cameron Rowlands getting overtaken by Billy Mossum, and a little confusion here, I think, as we see the Ferraris collide, which leaves Cameron very exposed to attack from Jamie and Tom Spicer. Now look at Tom Spicer. He might have been disqualified on the formation lap, but he is looking racy, and he's going to try to get that position as quick as possible. Now going on to the start-finish straight. I don't think Tom Spicer is quite close enough to go for anything here. What about in the front? Not a lot happening here at the moment. Ross has pulled a little away from Thomas McIver. Thomas McIver though, known to be struggling with his race pace, known to be struggling with his race craft, often ending up with a lot of spins, but now he is in second place, and he's looking quite comfortably in second at the moment, so maybe this is the race where it turns around for him. We can see that the game is predicting a 2-stop for most drivers. However, from experience I will guess that most drivers are going to try the 1-stop. And for information then, everybody trying a 1-stop would be pitting around lap 7 or 8. As we can see that there's gaps forming everywhere. There isn't anyone really that close. Maybe Tom Spicer trying to get a little more speed through that swooping right-hander to catch Cameron and maybe put him under some pressure. Let's see here then. Tom Spicer right on the back end of Cameron Rowlands. A good exit from the left island corner. He doesn't really get that. He's not going to be able to make an overtake with this, but now DRS will be online and we will see drivers being able to overtake a little more easily on the straights. As we can see that Tyler Thomas is quite close to Grayson at the moment. Grayson on the softs, Tyler on the mediums. Michael Marlowe catching on the straight on Thomas McIver. He's not catching quite enough. He's gonna have to tuck in again. Not ending up making a move there. Tyler Thomas though on the outside of Grayson into the chicane. He takes that position away and he's putting himself in a great position to score points today, being on that alternate strategy. As we're gonna have to have a look here, as we can see Thomas McIver getting put under real pressure from Michael Marlowe here in the final sector, and we can see that Ross Denholm there. At the moment, it just doesn't look like anything is gonna stop him. He's 2.5 seconds in the lead ahead of Thomas McIver and his teammate, as Billy goes right into the pit already now on lap 3. That should be a 2-stop from Billy then. And look at this, Michael Marlowe really putting some pressure on Thomas McIver here. Oh, McIver, has he had a bad exit from turn 2? He hasn't had as bad. It looked worse when we saw one on the camera angles. Yeah, we can also see that Bevessi Silva is quite close to Enzo here, and we might have 2 people who's going to be going for overtakes on the long straight now. Michael Marlowe 5/10 behind Thomas McIver. Unless McIver has some proper straight line speed, he should be close enough to go for a move. Michael Marlowe throws himself to the inside into the chicane, and they make contact, but they manage to get through somehow, which is good. And we can see that Silvadas, unfortunately, we didn't manage to catch his overtake, but he got past Enzo as well. We can see that Tom Spicer real close now to Cameron, as we have battling, and these 2 cars are decent. So that is always nice, but it looks like Michael Marlowe has passed Thomas McIver. Oh. Okay, there is some... Oh, okay, Cameron went into the pits. That's what was confusing. But Michael Marlowe definitely seemed quicker right now than Thomas. In the meantime, Tom Spicer has been let loose. He's not in the wake of Cameron anymore. He's gonna try to chase down Enzo now. At the same time, he will be put under pressure from Jamie on his rear. As we have yellow flags in Sector 1, and that's a Red Bull, and that is Jessica, I believe, who might have had a spin in turn 1 or turn 2 then, I guess. But let's see then. Thomas McIver has a lot of ERS to play with. He has Silva on his rear, no doubt, but look at this, he's closing in on Michael Marlowe. He's gonna go for the outside line in this swooping right-hander, and look at this, side by side for Marlowe and McIver. Marlowe manages to defend his position and stay ahead, but he's really getting put under pressure, and we can see the Ferrari of Silva also lurking in the background, wanting to have a piece of this action as he's looking for the gap on Thomas McIver there. Now out of the final corner, Thomas McIver with a good exit. He surely should have Michael Marlowe down into turn 1. Thomas McIver, he's going to go for the outside line. He's going to take back his 2nd place. And he's going to let Marlowe handle with the pressure of Silva for now then. As Ross still is just bolting away in the lead. But what a battle for second we have. As look at this, Michael Marlowe with a poor exit onto this straight. He's right under attack from Silva, and Silva is going to take this position easy. Michael Marlowe also struggling with a low battery at the moment. However, he does have the slipstream, and he manages to keep that position just about. But look at this though, Silva, he's getting a much better exit from the chicane. Down towards the flat out right-hander. Silva is going to take away that 3rd from Michael, pushing the 2nd AlphaTauri out of the podium position. As Michael is still trying to challenge, he's trying to make, as we have a virtual safety car. And that is because of Jessica Harrison. So let's see if we can get a view, and there we can see her car, and I think I have an idea of what has happened there. She's clipped the curb, she's spun and flown right into the wall. And we can see that Thomas, Silva and Michael, Tom Spicer, Jamie, everybody seems to exploit this virtual safety car to get their pit stop done, except for Ross. However, this could blow back at them, as this could put them in real danger of actually making those tires go to the end. Well, Ross does know this. I am not sure if it was a smart idea to stay out. But the virtual safety car is over and they're back on racing. And look at this, Craig Woolley, he's putting Chris Ryan under pressure instantly. Craig on his old medium should have much better grip than Chris on his old soft tires at this point, and you can see that he does as well. As Craig Woolley down a long straight, he's going to have an easy time overtaking Chris now. Before he takes the racing line and goes into this chicane. And on the exit, he should have no difficulty getting a good enough exit to hold Chris off. But let's see then, in the battle for second, we can see that Silva, he's pressuring Thomas. Silva, though, who's gone on medium, so he's going for a two-stop at this point. Thomas, he's gone on the hard tires. He's gonna try to do that one-stop. It's gonna be a difficult strategy for Thomas right now, as we see that Ross has just gone into the pit, and with everybody else pitting under the VSC, I think he should have been undercutted by at least 2 or 3 cars. Let's see then, where is Ross? He's coming out of the pit. He's being undercutted by Silva, by Thomas. He might have been undercutted by his teammate as well. Here comes. He's managed to stay ahead of Michael Marlowe. He's gone on the hard tires. And now he's going to try to chase down Thomas McIver and Silva. Excuse me. As we can see that Silva really exploiting the grip he has on those medium tires. As we can see that Craig Woolley, I don't know, I don't think he's defending, I just think he's letting Silva go pretty much. He doesn't think it's a good idea to battle this out and lose time. In the meantime, let's see then, Thomas McIver, he's also going to catch Craig Woolley in not long. As we can see that Ross is also catching up to Thomas. I haven't looked at the stream before now, Ivan, but at an earlier point I would have pretty much agreed with you, but right now it isn't as clear cut. You have Thomas McIver, he is in front of Ross, he is keeping his pace up pretty decently. He's gonna have that 1 lap extra on those hard tires though. And that is a penalty for Ross Denholm, and that could be a crucial penalty for Ross Denholm. But look at this though, Thomas McIver, Ross is going to be outside of DRS, Thomas is going to have that DRS from Craig Woolley. He's also going to pass Craig and put a car in between himself and Ross. As Thomas takes P5 from Craig, and he's now going to try to catch up a little again to Silva. Don't think he can do that though. What about Ross? He's looking racy. He's going to try to get Craig as quickly as possible, and he's going to try to do it into the swooping right-hander. It's not the easiest place to do it, especially on the inside, but he makes the move. And he gets himself up into 6th, and he's within DRS range on Thomas McIver. As we have some battling further down as well, we have Tom Spicer quite close to Jamie. Jamie, who's at some point past Tom then, as it was the other way around earlier. Tom trying to get a good exit. He couldn't really get a good enough. He's gonna have to stay behind in his first sector. But we're gonna have to go further up to the front of the field, where we can see that Silva is putting pressure onto Luke and Jeremy, who's both been on these mediums since the start of the race. But look at Silva. He's gonna make that pass on Luke pretty quickly. And he's going to go for Jeremy next. As Luke has heavily outbraked himself, trying to defend his position. And Ross has managed to actually take the position from McIver already. However, McIver, though, so much ERS to spend. He's got to use some of that to actually make sure that he stays with Ross here. As we see that Silva has managed to get past Jeremy as well. Silvado, who will have to pit again at some point. And Ross, who's gotten that penalty, a crucial penalty that can be. As Tyler Thomas, probably one of the first times I'm seeing him leading a race when thinking about it. But let's look at this first. We can see Jamie Dodger. He's going to go for a move into turn 1 on Craig Woolley on the inside. Side by side through turn 2 as well. And look at this. Tom Spicer. He's going to sneak through to take that position from his teammate and Jamie. And move himself into clean air as Craig half spins after making contact with Jamie. As now Silva is going to try to get past Tyler, but Tyler is defending brilliantly. Tyler does have the DRS. He does have ERS to spend as well, and he's going to stay in the lead for now. In the meantime, we can see that Ross and Thomas are still tightly together here. But look at this though, Silva, he knows he's on the mediums. He will have to pit again at some point. He's going to have to try and get past Thomas. And look at this, in the swooping right-hander. He's going to take it on the inside, but Thomas, he's not giving up. And into this left-hander, they go side by side, but on the outside it looks like Silva has managed to take it after they have a small bit of contact. And what a move by Silva to take the lead of the race. And how crucially it is that he did as well. As we will look at Ross now. Ross and Thomas McIver both catching up to Luke. They want to get past these cars as quickly as possible. Ross though, Luke is fighting Ross. He's not giving it up as easy as he could have. And look at this, Thomas McIver also right on the rear of him. Luke though, he's going to try to attack Ross into the rest of this sector. As I think Luke might have half spun. Oh, and actually Luke and Thomas is off track. As they lose valuable time, as we now can see that Ross Denholm is passing Jeremy to take P3 on track. We'll have to say though, Tyler Thomas sticking there with Silva at the moment. And looking like he's going to go for one of the better results he's had in his IRL career. As we can see, Michael Marlowe, Ross's teammate, struggling a little more down in 6th. On net position though. He should be second, as everybody else ahead of him except for Ross will have to pit again, as Tyler Thomas has just gone into the pit, and that will be for a set of hard tires that will definitely go to the end. As we can see that Jamie is trying to get himself up to Tom Spicer again, and we can see that here we have Thomas McIver, who's lost valuable time after that incident with Luke. Not completely sure what happened when they went off track, but Thomas now, he in desperate need of getting past cars quickly. He still doesn't have a penalty, so he could still be in for a good result as well. He has lots of ERS to use. As we're gonna have to have a look at as Enzo is making the pass on Jeremy into the chicane to take P4. To take P3, my bad. What about Thomas McIver? Thomas on the back of Jamie. He's gonna go for the move into this flat out right-hander. Oh, as he loses this and take Jamie with him. And Jamie's out. He's in the wall and out of the race, and it's a safety car. And this will turn everything around. We can see Silva goes into the pit. He should be able to stretch the mediums from here until the end. We can see Ross goes into the pit as well. He's going to go in for a new set of mediums. Enzo will probably do the same. Jeremy, he's gifted his pit stop here. He has stayed out until now, and he's getting that pit stop for free under a safety car. And he will go on a set of hard tires. And with 13 laps left, that might actually not be that bad for him, that he is on the hard while everybody else on mediums, because the mediums could become a little bit of an issue towards the end of this race. Thomas McIver onto the soft tires, and this is not what he wanted. This is definitely a mistake. And this is gonna halt his progress quite significantly, as he's gonna have to pit again under the safety car to go on to either a set of mediums or hards. However, in the lead though we have Michael Marlowe, who decided to stay out on his 7-lap-old mediums, and that is a horrible idea. Everybody behind him on softs or even fresh hards will have much more grip to deal with. They will have much better tires, especially at the end of the race. And he's just made it very difficult for himself here now. However, we can't say for sure, but he could be staying out just to stick in the lead to help Ross take the position of Silva, possibly. As we can see that everybody's caught up to the field now, except for Grayson, Craig Woolley, Chris and Luke. And let's see then, Thomas, you will have to pit. You will not make those softs go to the end. You know this. And Thomas is ruining his own race here. He's not pitting. He's going to stay on those softs. It's going to be a horrible race to the end for Thomas. As we can see that Storm, he is pitting, and it looks like he, I don't know, pitted for mediums, maybe? As we see the whole field, except for 2 drivers, Luke and Storm, has caught up now. Luke has actually caught up as well, so we're only waiting on Storm to get to the back end of the field. as with 12 laps to go. We have 2 retirements so far. Jessica Harrison retired earlier on, and Jamie Dodger retired just recently after a collision with Thomas McIver and the wall. Now obviously there is a couple of drivers who's been gifted pretty heavily by this safety car, especially Jeremy Pope. He's sitting there in 6th. Tyler Thomas not in too bad of a position either. He obviously he showed great. He showed good pace battling against Silva earlier, so it could be interesting to see what he can do. Obviously on those hards he's going to struggle a little against the medium runners on the first few laps now, but on the last 5 laps or so, those hards should be a little bit better than the mediums. As we can see that the safety car is in this lap, and it will be Michael Marlowe who's going to be controlling the pace on this restart. And let's see how he's going to do it. And he's keeping a fairly high pace so far, and he's going to have to slow down a little. If not, he's going to actually catch the safety car before the safety car is in the pit, which will create some issues for the drivers. But let's see then. Is he gonna go for it simply and just go out of the final corner? He has gone out of the final corner, but look at this though. Silva has had a great reaction time to that. He's gonna try to overtake Michael already in towards turn 1. Michael, however, manages to keep that position, but he's gonna be under heavy pressure from Silva. And Silva is gonna be under heavy pressure from Michael's teammate Ross. As Ross, what is he doing? I think he might have locked his rears there. And has he gotten wing damage as he rejoins quite oddly there? And look at this then. But we're gonna go back to the lead. We have Silvaves here on the back of Michael Marlowe. Michael, who is looking like he's using all the ERS he has to keep away now. Well, maybe not all actually. He's used a little less than I thought he would have. But let's see if we can have a look on the front wing of Ross. I do believe he has wing damage. If we look on the left-hand side, you can see him on the right-hand side. I mean, he's missing an end plate, and that could be crucial for the rest of his race. Look at this though, Silva. Ooh, a small touch between him and Michael, but look at that though, Silva just having much more grip. He's going to take P1 away from Michael, and on those fresh mediums he should be able to pull away. We can see that Ross, ooh, and what is happening here? I'm not completely sure what happened there, but it looks like Enzo got spun by Ross. I'm not completely sure, it was difficult to see. As we now can see Enzo under pressure from Jeremy, as Enzo then goes straight on. He retains that position, but it gets a 5-second penalty, and I can't say for sure, as that will be the steward's responsibility to take care of, but I do not think he will be able to get that penalty removed. And it seems like he's gotten another one. Interesting. But look at this though, we can see that Silva is pulling away, and Ross, he seems to be struggling with his front wing now. He also does have that penalty, and it looks like Silva might actually be in for the first race win of his season today, unless Michael can catch up, as he looks like the most likely one to challenge that. What about further down? Can Tyler Thomas hold on to this 4th place? He is on the hard tires. He's going to struggle a little bit with Enzo and Billy behind him. However, Tyler should have a small advantage later on in this race. And look at this, and oh, and I think there might be some connection issues between some of these drivers, as we see Silva take the fastest lap of the race. Now look at this though, Billy and Thomas going side by side. Thomas MacGyver takes that position from Billy, but Thomas though on those 4-lap-old soft doesn't have a lot left before those are going to be completely shot. And look at this, Ross getting closer to his teammate, but also struggling with that understeer as... Oh, and that is Chris out of the race. And I am not completely sure where that happened. It seems to have happened at the end of the first sector. And that is another safety car. I can show you the pens, Ivan. I do believe your teammate has one penalty. I do believe Ross has one penalty. Actually, Silva has 8 seconds of penalty, so I don't know if that is a 5 second for collision or if it's a speeding. But it could be that he is actually in a little worse of a position than... you would think that, especially if he will have to serve this penalty now. However, when thinking about it, Ross will actually be held by his teammate. Ross will also, and Michael with his 5 second penalty. So this, let's see, Silva is serving a penalty. Michael will not be serving a penalty. Michael will be going onto soft tires. That's going to be... it's going to be 8 difficult laps as we see Ross getting held by double stacking, and this is going to make it very difficult for Ross in this race. As he comes out in 14th, completely last. And if there is one driver who might have been saved by this, it have to be Thomas MacGyver. But look at somebody who might be sailing up to actually take an unexpected podium and possibly win today. Grayson with 0 penalties, the only driver without a penalty, and he's sitting in 3rd. And well, if we can see here, we can see Tom Spicer. He will be the driver leading this pack now. On his old mediums, Jeremy on his old hards will be in 2nd with 1 3-second time penalty. Grayson on his old mediums is in 3rd, no penalties. Then we have Storm with 12 seconds of penalties, but the fact that Storm is there could make it easier for Grayson. Storm obviously knows that he's not going to be taking a high position today. He could help Grayson. Grayson hold some of the cars up behind. Craig Woolley with a 3-second. Michael Marlowe with 5 seconds of penalty. Silva with his 3-second. Same with Thomas MacGyver. Then we have Billy with a 6-second. Enzo with a 5-second. Tyler Thomas with 3 seconds. Tyler Thomas, who looked like he was in for such a good position, but it's kind of gone a little downhill since then. Luke with 6 seconds, same with for Cameron, and Ross with 3 seconds. And we can see that everybody from Michael down to Ross has gone on soft tires, as we see that Luke Baker decides to pit this lap. That's a strange one. That's not really benefiting for Luke, as he should have pitted the previous one. But the driver that could be the most interesting driver to see where it ends up today, Grayson, in 3rd place at the moment with his teammate behind him. Grayson has 0 penalties. Both drivers in front of him does have 1 and 2 penalties, and his teammate behind him could try to help him massively here by holding up everybody behind. As we will have a 7-lap dash to the line. Craig Woolley in 5th as well, but he's on a set of old hards, and I think he's going to struggle a lot to keep the soft runners behind him. The question is, how quickly can Michael, can Sylvain, can Thomas, can Billy, can the rest of the soft runners clear these drivers in front, if they can at all? We know that it's going to be difficult. It's only 7 laps left. They're all going to have 100% ERS again. And we're going to watch Tom Spicer as he's going to be heading this field on to the restart. Let's see then, Tom Spicer leading the field, trying to create a gap to that safety car. You can see the safety car going into the pit, which now means that Tom Spicer can decide to go whenever he wants. He's gonna do it quite easily. I think he's gonna go right out of the final corner, and he actually catches Jeremy a little off guard there. Jeremy gonna be under a little pressure from Grayson though, but Grayson not really that close that he can do much yet. However, look at this though, Sylvain quite close to Michael quite close to Craig, and look at this, Michael, he's gonna instantly go for it on Craig Woolley. He knows that he's gonna have to pass cars quickly to have a chance at this win today, especially with Grayson with his 0 penalties. And look at this, Sylvain Vessier past Craig Woolley in a difficult right-hander there. And now we have Michael Marlowe. He's going to make the pass on Storm, or is he? Storm is going to push to try to keep him behind. But Michael Marlowe with his fresh soft should be able to make this move though, but Storm's still there. He's going to battle this one out. But Michael Marlowe takes the position. But look at this though, Sylvain Vessier right behind the two of them as well, and he's going to try to follow through. He's going to try to keep with Michael. We can see battling in the background as well. We have Billy getting past Thomas McIver, as we have Sylvain Vessier getting past Storm, and now on the rear of Michael Marlowe. And now Michael Marlowe is going to have it a little tougher. I think he's going to have to try and get past Grayson. However, Grayson is right on the back of Jeremy as it is another safety car. And for who this time? Chris Ryan, it looks like, is out. Or is it Chris Ryan who's out? A little confused there. There is somebody's out. I think it is Chris, because I do seem to think that he was in the race up until this point. But with another safety car, we still have Tom Spicer in the lead, ahead of Jeremy and Grayson. But now we have Michael Marlowe and Sylvain 4th and 5th, and they are going to be on a charge to get past the 3 in front of them. On the other hand, we still have Ross Denholm still in 11th, not managed to get himself into a points paying position yet. And with Ivan not being here today, Ivan the points leader, this is a crucial race for Ross to try and catch up, and right now it's not looking great. And while we're under the safety car, we can quickly just check the penalty situation again, and we can see that Michael Marlowe is actually gotten a 3-second penalty now as well, so he has 8 seconds of pens, which means that it's going to be difficult for him to get a high position. We see that Sylvain still only has his 3-second, which means that he can still be on for a good position in this race. Thank you, Ivan. I do try my best. But as we were saying, Stephen Grayson still within maybe his best chance. My apologies for that, I just got a little disturbed for a few moments, but as I was saying, Grayson with possibly the best chance there right now, 0 penalties, the only one so far, and only a couple of laps left, so it should only just to stick with the people in the front right now. Tom Spicer on the other hand has to try his best to just slip away from all of this. Jeremy Pope, he just have to try and stick with Tom. With that 3 second, he can still be in for podium position at this rate. And for Ross down in 11th, it's going to be difficult, but there is a couple of people with a lot of penalties ahead of him, so he could still gain some positions. But it's not going to be the race he wanted. Another safety car indeed, Ivan, and I do not know why I did not catch it. The only reason I can imagine is that Chris went out somewhere, and I'm not sure where. I can see his car stuck on the track anywhere, so. But something must have happened, as we have safety car in this lap. And it's going to be a 4-lap dash to the line, as we see that Billy picks up a 5 second for colliding with Silva. And with Silva in front, that should have been him then going into his rear. But it's going to be Tom Spicer who's going to be leading the pack after the safety car goes in again. Now, is he going to be predictable and go at the same place he did last time, since it worked pretty well? Or is he going to leave it to a little later this time and try and catch Jeremy off guard again? As the safety car is in, Tom Spicer can go whenever he wants, and he seems to be going out of the final corner. He doesn't get it as good as last time this time, but he is still ahead of Jeremy, and Grayson is right on the back of Jeremy here. It's going to be no move into turn 1 in the top 5 at least. Doesn't look like anything is happening further behind that either, but look at this though. Michael Marlowe, he's on the charge. He's going to pass Grayson already. And look at this, Silva, he sees his opportunity. He goes right past Grayson as well, but Grayson still without any penalties. Only has to stay with these two. But it looks like Grayson's tires might be starting to get a little bit too bad for him to be able to do that. As we can see now, Michael Marlowe right on the back of Jeremy Pope into the chicane. We can see that Michael Marlowe is under a lot of pressure from Silva as well. But Jeremy, trying to keep his cool, is trying to keep both of these two soft runners behind him. But now I think he's going to have to concede to Michael, as we can see that Michael is going to go for it into this flat-out right-hander. Jeremy is going to be passed by Silva as well, as Silva goes on the inside of this long swooping right-hander. And he drops down and down to 4th place, but it could still be a good opportunity here for Jeremy, as he's still driving well. But let's see then, Tom Spicer still in the lead, ahead of Michael Marlowe and then Silva. Now we can see that Jeremy, he's getting challenged by Billy Mossum, but Jeremy is managing to stay ahead so far. Somebody's out, that is Cameron Rowlands. He's crashed out in the 3rd sector. And now 3 laps to go. And we can see that Jeremy is starting to form a little bit of a train behind himself. And look at this, Billy trying to be very aggressive here. We can also see that Grayson is trying to battle everyone. And look at that, Billy shoves Jeremy off there. But Jeremy, is he going to be able to get back at Enzo? As right now, it doesn't look like any one of these are going to make any passes at the moment. Jeremy sticking with this guy right now, but he has Ross right on his back end though. And Ross, he knows that he has to pass cars. He knows that he's not in for the win anymore, but he can still be in for a decent position. And he's going to try everything he can to catch as many cars as possible, as we can see that Jeremy on those old hards is actually keeping pretty well with everyone. But we're gonna have to go to the front of the field where we see that Tom Spicer is still leading the pack right ahead of Michael Marlowe and Silva. And then we have Billy in the background in 4th place before we then have Enzo. Then we have Ross now before we have Jeremy in 7th. Jeremy, who has Storm right behind him now. Storm, who you can see he has much more grip than Jeremy on those hard tires, and Storm is going to try to go for it, but Jeremy isn't going to just take it lying down. He's going to fight for it. He's not going to give it up for free. And now we're going to have to go back to the lead, as we can see that going on to the long straight. Michael Marlowe has had a poor exit. He's under pressure from Silva. Both drivers have DRS. Both drivers attacking Tom Spicer into the chicane, but we can see that Tom Spicer, he manages to stay ahead. However, look at this though, Michael Marlowe with a poor exit from the chicane. This might be the point where Silva takes that position. However, Michael Marlowe going defensive. Silva trying to stick it around the outside of Michael, as Michael picks up another penalty. Silva trying a switch back in his long swooping right under it. Is he going to be able to take it as they go into this next corner? Silva is in front, and what a move it has been, as he takes away that second place from Michael Marlowe. And now we can see that Billy Mossam is also trying to catch up to this leading train. He's not far behind. We can see that Ross Denholm has picked up his second time penalty of the day, and that is not a good thing for him. And now Jeremy, we can see that Jeremy is also getting hunted by Storm and Grayson. Grayson, who's finally picked up a time penalty. It took him a while, but he has gotten it now. Now on to the final lap. We can see that Ross, he is hunting Enzo, but Enzo is in this train for the lead, and it's going to be difficult for anyone to pass anyone here now, except for maybe Silva, who is trying to get a run on Tom Spicer into the chicane. Is Silva going to be able to take the lead of the race? He does on the final lap, and this might be the win for Silva, as he's been left a little in the shadow of his teammate this season. As we can see that Tom Spicer, he's still keeping that second. He has Michael Marlowe right behind him, who then has Billy Mossam behind him. So it looks like we might have a different podium than what we're used to today. As Silva leading this pack into the final few corners. It doesn't look like anyone is going to be able to challenge him now. Out of the final corner, we can see that Tom Spicer is trying to make a final attempt at getting that position back. But it's going to be Silva Vessier who takes his first... Oh, but it is not. It's actually Tom Spicer. And I'm very confused about the timings here now, but at the moment we have Tom Spicer in first, then Ross Denholm in second, Jeremy in third, Grayson in fourth, Craig Woolley in fifth, Silva in sixth, then Michael Marlowe in seventh, Billy in eighth, and I am extremely confused about the timings here now. I thought Silva only had one penalty. But we will have another look now. As we see that it says that Tom Spicer has taken the win. I'm a little unsure about this. Silva has apparently got 11 seconds of penalty, so it might actually be correct. If that is the case, we have Tom Spicer taking his first win this season ahead of Ross Denholm in second, Jeremy Pope in third with a surprise podium from him today, and Grayson in fourth, Craig Woolley in fifth, Silva in sixth, Michael Marlowe in seventh, Billy Mossam in eighth, and Luke Baker in ninth, Enzo in 10th, Tyler in 11th, then Storm in 12th, Thomas McIver with a disappointing 13th after second on the grid. Then we have Cameron Rowlands, Chris Ryan, Jamie Dodger and Jessica Harrison all DNFing during this race. Thomas McIver though with fastest lap, but he will not get the point as he's outside of the top 10. And just looking through these penalties, also Craig Woolley with a surprising 5th place today. Very well done by him. But yeah, very surprising podium. But we're gonna run with what we had, so if you guys can just give me a moment, I will get the podium into the interviews. And lastly, it was Ross. Now, I'm still very confused about the timings there, so I can honestly not see if this is actually the correct podium, but it is what we have to go with. As we have the winner so far here, we also have I actually gotta check over if who got second and third. We have a second place here. Let's see if we can get third place in as well. He should be on his way, so and we got third place here as well. Just a little dry right now, but we're gonna start off with you, Jeremy, taking a surprising third place today after starting 17th on the grid. So we're gonna start off with quali. It didn't look like it went completely to plan, but do you think like you could have gone quicker, or was it track limits that you were struggling with, or?
No, actually it was front end grip. It's hard for me to make turn 1 on this track.
Oh, you're not alone about that. But anyways, though, starting 17th, not the best result in quali, but as many has said before, it's not quali where you score the points, and going on to a race, it was a bit of a crazy race. I remember during the first safety car, you were actually the luckiest person on the grid. You were the only one who hadn't pitted left yet.
Yeah, and I got lucky.
Like at that point, like what were you aiming at when you saw that? Like, damn, this is going my way at the moment. Like, what were your expectations then?
After the first safety car, I wasn't expecting another one. Thought I could just stay on hards and keep pushing to the end. I had the McLaren behind me, and everybody else that's usually at the top of the grid is always behind me. But they got stuck in traffic, and then the safety cars came out. I missed the second one, but I was like, I might as well just stay out. If I fall back to like 7th or 8th, that'll just be it. But after that, I saw everybody had penalties, so I was like, all right, let's push to the end. I put it in rich. I never let go. Of course, they were going to be faster than me because they had new soft tires, and I didn't pit, so my tires were still cold, struggling with tire temperature. But other than that, it was right on.
I can honestly say that I saw that you were pushing at the end there. I could see that you were desperately clinging to the last amount of grip you had in those hard tires, while you had those soft runners pushing you. But still, the only one penalty that does make a difference when there is people with up to 12 seconds of penalties around you. And in the end, you got a surprising third from 17th. Like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is that your first IRL podium in here?
For F1, yes.
Except for GT Sport, of course. You have a couple there. Well, not a bad way to end the race at Paul Ricard for you then.
Nope, not at all. Not bad for not feeling good and not practicing.
Another question though, before the race, obviously after quali, it looked like it was your teammate who was gonna carry the team. But like, any idea what happened out there with him today? Like he started second on the grid, and then like everything just went down during lap 10 or something, I think, with him.
Yeah, it looked like he just got caught in traffic with all the safety cars, and then he got by me, and then I don't know if he spun. I think he got damaged, and he went back into the pits again. And then after that, he was just like all the way at the back. So I don't know what to do.
Well, you did what any good teammate should do. You carried the team yourself and took that podium. For next week, we're heading to Brazil. So, any thoughts on that track? Good, bad, like it?
In this year's game, I like it. It's fun, a lot more fun than it's been the last 2 seasons for me. I do expect to be around maybe P9 and P12, but we'll see how things shape out.
Hey, you never know. Like today, you get safety cars. Sometimes things get thrown a little into your lap, and if you do the right things, then like you never know what you can get in the end. Any thoughts for the rest of the season for you and your teammate? I do believe Haas has been a little on the struggling side, but obviously an uplift today.
Yeah, I just hope my teammate can keep pushing this because he's very much faster than me. I'll play the number 2 driver if I have to. If he's not able to, and I have pace, and I say I have pace, I'll push. I'm a team player, so whatever needs to get done gets done.
Hey, sometimes that's the best way to do it. Nonetheless, though, congratulations on your first F1 podium in IRL, and good luck for next week.
Cool, thanks guys.
And we will jump over to Ross, and this is a guy I don't think was expecting to sit here 15 minutes ago.
I wanted to sit here, but
but you didn't expect it with the position you were in at that point. But
No.
nonetheless, though, we'll start off with quali. Quali looked like it went fine, but some surprising competition from Thomas there, though. Really pushing you to do the best you could in quali. Was there more in your lap, or did you feel like you got what you needed in quali?
in practice I was doing like 0.8, 0.9s and 27s, like 127.8s and 0.9s, but then I mucked up the first sector of my lap and then I just lost the back end in the final corner, so yeah, maybe could have gained a couple, 3 tenths on my lap there, but still got pole.
Fair enough. Still pole, so still best starting position. onto the first lap. I'm a little confused about the first three corners because on my screen, both you and your teammate were ghosted. It looked like, but at the same time, you didn't. None of you were driving as slow as the AI. So, like, was there anything that happened there, or was that
What was
just
timing glitch?
fair enough?
You know.
Well, nonetheless, though, moving on to the start of the race, you were looking dominant. You didn't really have anyone pushing you at the moment. Thomas didn't stick with you. Your teammate and Sylvain were up there fighting for a second, but at that point, did you think that the race would end up as crazy as it did in the end?
No, not really. I obviously wanted to win, so we could probably pull down the constructors, but for a safety car, put onto the mediums, they would go. But then, my teammate looked very early coming into this turn 4,
Yeah,
one after this
turn 4.
yeah, turn 4, but really early. Then I hit Vesa, got damage, and then that pretty much done me in there. And then Hamlet got really early coming into the final one, and I just hit him. Nothing I could do. He just got really early, and then yeah, that pretty much ruined my race. The damage, but
Still, though, at the end, we started getting safety car after safety car after safety car, and at the beginning, it didn't really look like it helped you. You were still down in around 11th, I believe. It didn't look like you were able to make much moves to begin with, but at the end, though, it looked like more people had more penalties than I thought they had initially. And like how were the last few laps for you today?
it was alright. But if the second safety car looked past me under it, but the last few laps I just had to go for everything I could. But pretty much every safety car done me in.
Fair enough, fair enough. Nonetheless, though, going into this round, you obviously knew how crucial this race was for you, with Ivan, your championship rival, not being here, meaning it could be an easy chance for you to catch up a lot after having some difficult races. At the end, were that like lingering in the back of your head, or?
No, not really. Just I just wanted to finish in the points, which probably won't happen if I get penalties for the steward. So
Fair enough, fair enough. Heading on to next week, though, we're going to Brazil, and I've heard rumors that it's one of your. It was either best or favorite tracks. So, want to elaborate on that?
Season 8 was last season. No, Season 8 was the last time we raced it, I think. Yeah, it was.
Correct.
I don't. My strategy was very weird in Season 8 and F5. I pit lap 6 on the safety car and went on hard, no, mediums to the end. So I'm not doing that again this next week. But if it does come down to it, I might see if I could do it just for fun. But I'm wanting to win because it's my favourite track. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. Now, after you and your teammates should have taken some points back in the constructors today, like how do you think your chances is there? I believe it was 35 points before today, so it's gonna be in the 20s or even in the 10s today. After today, like, do you think you guys will take it, or the Ferraris?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
But you're gonna go for it, though.
Hopefully, we're gonna go for it, but it's gonna be hard.
Well, you know, practice makes perfect.
Mhm.
Nonetheless, then, congratulations with another podium this season for you, and good luck for next week in Brazil.
Yeah.
And we will move over to today's very unexpected race winner, I would have to say, Tom Spicer.
Yes.
So, first of all, quali, I believe you qualied in, was it 9th, 8th, was it?
8th, I think, yeah.
So, not a bad quali, but a little bit off the front pack though. But in the race, you You did strong, and well, first of all, I'm wondering, like, did quali go as expected, or did you have more in you there?
I probably had more. I just went out a bit too late, mate.
Oh, you didn't get in your last run, or?
By the time I got back in the pits, there was like a minute left, so.
Oh.
And then I blue screened.
Oh yeah, that's right. You rejoined right before quali ended, actually. Yeah, that's right. Well, I guess unlucky in that sense, but still, though, starting 8th on the grid isn't too bad. It's still possible to do some stuffs, but I didn't see much of your race up until the virtual safety car. So, if you could just explain, like, if anything special happened before that point.
Not really. No. Probably the best thing was the double overtake I did on Wooly and I can't remember who the other one was. The Alfa Romeo. I can't remember who it was.
Oh yeah, that was a little closer to the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was probably like the only thing that really happened.
So
I was just going around pretty much.
So in other words, you just pretty much drove your own race and quietly moved up the field during the safety cars and the later parts of the race then?
Pretty much. The safety cars helped a lot, obviously.
Usually it does. I do remember looking at the end and seeing obviously you had 6 seconds of penalty, but didn't look too bright when you had was it Jeremy right behind you with 3 seconds and Grayson with no penalties? But
yeah, that didn't look too good.
But you did have some good restarts on the safety cars though, and you kept pushing, and you managed to keep everyone behind you except for Sylvain in the end. But like, how was those last few laps for you? And obviously more action-packed than the beginning of the race.
The end was pretty horrible, to be honest, because the tyres were gone by then. So I was just pretty much sliding around every corner and just trying to keep a lead. But yeah, that's pretty much all what really happened.
Fair enough.
Same kind of tactic at every race, just keep going.
Keep pushing. Well,
see what happens.
Well, today it resulted in a win, so the tactic isn't going unpaid then. Next week we're heading to Brazil. So how's that track for you, and what do you expect?
I'm not that good, so I'm not expecting anything too good.
Position wise?
Probably around 8th and below.
Mid-pack, in other words.
Yeah.
Well, you can't win every race either, but nonetheless, though, for the championship, like in the constructors, you and Craig has been picking up a small amount of points here and there, and has managed to stay in 7th. And the goal for you two this season is?
It's probably where we are, to be honest. It's probably in the right sort of area, I'd imagine.
Fair enough. You will have some competition then, but after today, I do believe you guys will move up to 5th in the constructors, ahead of the Renaults. As for the drivers' championship, any goals there? You should be sitting in 7th at the moment, moving up a few positions now as well.
Yeah, that's kind of where I want to be, to be honest, around 7 to 10-ish.
Top 10.
Safe enough.
Fair enough. Well, with that, it's been unexpected seeing you here today, but pleasure as well. So, congratulations on... this is your first win, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, yeah. The other one was a podium, I think.
Well, in that case, congratulations on your first IRL F1 win, and good luck for next week in Brazil.
Thank you. I'll need it.
You're very welcome. And with that, we are going to finish off. It's been an exciting Brazil race, highly recommended for people to watch back. A lot of overtakes happening, and some very good overtakes happening as well. However, with that, we're gonna end this off. This has been IRL F3 round 8 in France around Paul Ricard. I have been your commentator, Sondre Sorhaug. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more action. I know that F2 has a race today as well, so if you didn't see that, try to catch up. As for next race, it will be F1 next week on Saturday at 4:30. Thank you and good night.